Welcome back to the lab, Dr. Sketch Superfans. I've been working on something I told you guys I was going to share with you next time. If you remember back when I did my Brainiac figure, the first Brainiac figure, this guy right here, my first Brainiac figure made from my blight. Well, I told you guys that I picked up another blight from Amazon when they were on sale. They were $10, so I couldn't pass it up, and I got two, and I was thinking, what am I going to do with the other one? Well, I figured out what I was going to do with the other one, and it's awesome. It is awesome. You guys are going to be shocked at this one. And some of you guys may be displeased with this one because of the direction that I decided to go with. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. I introduce you to the blighted Mr. Freeze. So here he is, my secondary blight. I turned him into a Mr. Freeze. So this is Mr. Freeze. This is what I did with that second blight. You guys are thinking, where did he get those awesome tanks from? And I'm going to explain that to you here in a second. And that gun. I'm going to explain that too. Okay, so this is the blight. And what I did with blight, excuse me, to make him into Mr. Freeze was, first off, I took off his little shoulder pads. And I put them on his boots. So if you can see, let me see if I can get you in there. Those are his shoulder pads. Those are actually his shoulder pads that I put on his boots to make it look like boots, because he had kind of a part metal going on here, and then there was the leg part. And so he actually didn't have boots. He had some kind of leg brace here. And so I turned these into boots. As you can see, now they look like boots. So he's got this awesome set of boots on. And the tank here actually came from a Masters of the Universe Revelations Stinkor. I bought two Stinkors because I wanted to turn one into something else. And I bought this other Stinkor, which is awesome, and I customed him too. If you guys can't tell, I custom did the Stinkor until I just kind of gave him some detail. But here is his original pack. So this was Stinkor's stink tank. And this was Stinkor here. So I'll show him to you guys too. This was Stinkor, and I just kind of did a custom paint job on him to make him look more, less child looking. But that's his tank. That's his tanks. And so that's where those came from. And if you can't tell, I took those tanks and see how they got a spacer. These here don't. These don't have spacers. So let me put him back real quick. So that was my Stinkor, and I had a secondary Stinkor, and that's what these tanks are from. So you've got these awesome tanks that are from Stinkor, and I just glued them to his back. And they look awesome. These things look awesome. I custom painted them to where they look kind of, beat up and worn in. Let's see, what else did I do to this guy? Obviously, the head was not his. Blight had like this skull thing. And this is actually the head from a WWE Dwayne Johnson The Rock. I had bought these WWE figures from a sale. What do you call it? Facebook Marketplace sale about a year back. And I talked about this on my other videos. If you guys remember, I still got a buttload of these guys. And so I'm kind of using parts from these WWE figures because they're perfect. Well, this one was Dwayne Johnson's head. This was The Rock's head. And he had a really bad torn up nose. It looked like a dog got a hold of his face and just tore up his nose. So that nose is custom. The sunglasses, the goggles, they're custom, and you can see those goggles use Super Sculpey, and I went all the way around with those goggles. So those are custom goggles, and I also used this tube. This was actually a Bowden tube that I used from my 3D printer. I had an old Bowden tube that you run the filament through, and so I just took this and I painted it, and you know, I did some heat gun work to it. This right here is actually a shrink tubing that I put on there so that I could catch the little piece of Sculpey that I put right here, and attach the Bowden tube to the shrinking tube. And then this was a shrink tube too, attached to this little gun and a Bowden tube. So the gun itself actually came from a, what do they call these things? Oh, I don't remember what they're called. It's not the Lego, it's the other one. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Playmobil. They're called Playmobil. So these are the guys. This is not the guy I got it from, but these are the guys. I collect these little Playmobil guys because they're nostalgic. You know, I've had them. I've had Playmobil since I was a little bitty kid. And oops, I got some web or something on there. But I've had Playmobil since I was a little bitty kid, and this is where I got that gun. It was from a Playmobil guy. So I got this gun from a Playmobil guy, and I said, oh man, that's perfect. So I painted it to look like, you know, something Dr. Freeze would have, Mr. Freeze. And so there you are. And then I took this hand, because he had these hands. If you can't tell, these hands right here, they have like a mesh on them. Blight has like a mesh on his hands. So this hand I took from my storage, my hand storage. I couldn't tell you really whose hand that was. It had to have been a McFarlane toy. I'm not sure if it was Shazam or somebody else's. But so I took that and I heated it so I could bring the fingers out. And I'm going to show you why I did that. Because with Mr. Freeze, you have to have Nora. So I've got Nora Freeze here. Let me see if I can get a good vision. There you go. So I'm still working on Nora. Still working on Nora Freeze. This was actually a gosh, I can't remember her name either. She's from Westworld, and Abernathy, I think is her name. Abernathy, something Abernathy. Dolores, maybe? Yeah, Dolores Abernathy from the show Westworld. And she was all covered in jean and stuff. So I just took liberties and I cut her little belt off, and I put some Super Sculpey on her to kind of finish it up, and did some heat on her hair so that her hair looked like she was floating. I bought these two whatever you call these things. I don't even know what you call these things. They're like little plant holders. They're like little plant holders, I think. And they have bases, and they're actually upside down. So the top right here is actually the bottom, and I just put two of these together. And then the base, I took some Super Sculpey and ran it around it. And then the base is just a wood block that I painted silver for right now. So you've got Dolores, which is Nora. And sorry about my little sloth here. You got Dolores, which is Nora now, and so I got her in this case. And how I got her to be suspended is with this piece of, I think it's 5 gauge, I think, and then a little super scopy block that I made, and you can see that it makes her look like she's suspended in a tube. And Mr. Freeze is, you know, just beside himself because he wants his wife to be whole again, you know, because she's sick. So, and he put her in that sustained chamber so that one day he could heal her. But for right now, he's got to work and be a criminal so that he can afford to get her the treatment that she needs. But there you go. There's Mr. Freeze and Nora. I'm still working on Nora, and hopefully her chamber will be done pretty soon here. And then I'll come back and show you guys Nora Freeze's chamber. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys enjoyed my Mr. Freeze and my Nora. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you get all my latest videos. And don't forget to comment below. It helps with the algorithms. And just thank you guys for watching. You guys are awesome. I hope you really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed working on Mr. Freeze there. And I think I did a really good job considering, you know, that it was a blight. And I had to break down and use a rock head. So, but it turned out good. It turned out good, and I'm really happy with it. Don't forget to watch my other video that I just recently did here, my second Brainiac. Don't forget to go over there and watch that one. It is awesome. That Brainiac is awesome. But I'm really pleased with the Mr. Freeze. I think I did a pretty good job. What do you guys think? Until next time, I'm Dr. Sketch. Hey, thanks for stopping by the lab.